Hey everybody, I'm sitting here with Deepak, longtime friend, and he's in town for the Grammys, and it's just a great time to have him down here at our studio, which is rare, and I always cherish having you down. And we have a special bond because so many years ago we worked on the movie, the soundtrack for the movie Slumdog Millionaire. And I'm sure you have a story about that. I have a story about that I don't think you know. I don't know, do you want to say anything first?
So I was sending mixes in the night, and I don't know where I was sending also, who is listening and who is mastering. When the time crunch comes, you don't even want to know who is actually mastering it also. Like, I want this to get released. That's how it was. And we didn't had any time to actually review the mixes also. We finished the mixes. I was about to take a flight, and on the way we had taken U-turn and gone to the studio back,
Wow.
corrected and sent the mixes. That's
So you were down to the wire, and we got a phone call from Interscope, and they said, well, "There's this movie. It's an amazing movie. It's doing really well in the Toronto Film Festival. It's not yet released as a big theatrical release, but the sun won't rise if we don't have a master in hand tomorrow. And they're finishing the mixes as they go in India, and they're going to trickle in overnight." They called the studio. They said, "Do you have anybody that can just do this and work into the night? Because you're probably going to get the mixes at maybe midnight. We'll see." And I said, "I'll do it." And I was maybe 21, and I started mastering as a teenager, so I was qualified to do it, but I was still kind of young and really willing to just do whatever it takes to do another project. So I volunteered, and the mixes started trickling in. But this is early days. This is 2008, I think, right?
yeah.
And so whatever we had for FTP wasn't like what we had now. And you'd upload something and it would get to 99% and then it would fail, as you remember. It was rudimentary technology that we had. And I think the phone connection that we had was not the best either. Not like we have now. I managed to get you guys on the phone and you said, "It's coming, it's coming." And then we'd get the mixes in. And I think they started trickling in well past midnight. It was coming in at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was working on it really late into the night, but the music was so moving, so beautiful, and so special. I hadn't seen the film, but I knew right off the bat it was going to be really, really special.
And worst part, being a mixing engineer, when you actually a producer also, so I was co-producing some of the tracks and all. So when the song was happening and all, should I chop Ramon's vocals or like MIA's vocals more tighter?
Right.
All those were trickling more than the mix also. So I was sending it to Reuben. So just email used to come like after half an hour, 45 minutes, and they were saying, "When can I expect? Are we sending V2 or no?" Like that was another question.
So the sun's coming up. I finished the project. I am just about to make a CD master so we can deliver it to Universal on time. And all the spacing's done, project saved. I'm about to put the CD into the burner. You don't know this part. I've never told you this. Just as I'm about to make the master, a huge explosion happens. Huge light comes into the studio through the glass door, which you can barely even see light. It just was this big burst. And what had happened as a transformer exploded underground, and the entire studio and the entire block lost power. So thankfully Gavin, being prepared for everything, had all our computers on backup batteries.
Right.
But I only had so many minutes, and I didn't believe that I'd have enough time to get the master done. So I packed up everything, locked the studio. Our security guard just showed up, Sylvester his name was, and he stood watch. And I took the computer, the ROM drive, the burner, and everything that I needed all to my apartment in Hollywood. And I made the CD master there where I had power. And our production guy at the time came up. I called him. I said, "Listen, we got to get this thing to Universal. It's done.
Yeah.
We just got to make the disc." So made the master, made the label, made everything. I had to bring that too. Label making machine, printed it all out, everything. And we delivered it to Universal, and that's what ended up going out there. So that was the end of the story. It was this Slumdog Millionaire type miracle story in the end to get this thing done and delivered. And the thing became a huge hit, won Grammys, Academy Awards, biggest film of the year, just this amazing project.
So what happens is, after every master, we need the final print before this. So he was asking me, where is the final one? So then my mentor, who actually passed away right after the album was released, he was just collecting all the data and all. So we were literally waiting for the final master. I was getting emails from you, guys. I have only V1. Where is the V2 coming? Version 2.
Okay. You remember? I don't even remember that part.
Is the version 2 coming out?
Uh-huh.
So I said, no, this is final. So we went and heard it in the car. By then, it's already done. Means
Right.
it was delivered. It's only for your checking purposes. So it was like a great album which was done. We didn't had any time for anything else extra.
And then after that was released, we actually met in person after that, I think a few years later. But we worked on so many projects after that as well, and continue to. So I just think it's such a special story. I often tell these guys the story of it, and it's such a special project that I still enjoy. And just grateful that we got to meet that way, and we have this between us.
Yeah, nice.
Right on.